Navarro on the run. Navarro's going to keep it. Navarro for 6. Touchdown, Bobcat.
I feel I had a hard time staying in my own lane.
Oh my goodness! Red Murdoch, pick 6.
Harvath inside the 30 to 20. Blake Harvath will score.
And Mendoza takes a big hit. He never saw it coming. Trey White got in there.
There's his man, Rucker. And nobody's going to catch him. Goodbye.
Intercepted. Tom Reeves, skipper. Touchdown.
Telly again, why not? A step forward and make it 2 for Telly.
Quarterback keeper showing off the speed. Steps on the gas. Untouched.
The G5 Hive. All G5, all the time.
Welcome to the G5 Hive, where we bring you the G5 college football coverage you love each and every week. I'm Luke. I'm back after a week out, joined by my co-host, Justice. If you're watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. And if you're watching us on X, please give us a follow, a like, a retweet. If you're listening to us in podcast form, please rate and review. So, Justice, big announcement. We went live Friday night. We had a lot to talk about. But yeah, here's a chance to talk about it a little bit more.
Yeah, we launched our website on Friday.
Heck yeah, we did.
If you haven't had a chance to check it out, I would encourage you to go to that announcement video on our YouTube page. I also tweeted it from our X account a little while ago. If just in case you're interested in learning more. Obviously, we've had some questions. The current version of the website, I would say, is really geared towards folks that play college fantasy football. If you're really, really into data, then perhaps there's something there for you as well. This is kind of version 1 of the website. And as we build it out, it'll just continue to grow. And eventually it'll have stuff for all college football fans, G5 college football fans, etc. But this is our version 1. We're providing things that don't exist anywhere else in terms of managing your college fantasy football teams. I won't get into a lot of details, but like I said on that announcement video, these are tools that I have built over the last 5 or 6 years that I have personally used, and now they're available for everybody. And like I said, they don't exist anywhere else. We'll have some testimonials from users that will be tweeted out this week. We tweeted out one, I think, this morning. We'll have more coming throughout the week. But yeah, man, it's pretty awesome. We have a special right now. GView G5 Hive VIP promo code. You get half off your first year. Normal price is $99.99 a year. You will get it for $49.99 for your first year. In addition to the CFF tools, college fantasy football tools, all the various things we have in the data suite, subscribers also get instant access to our Worker Bee series. Those videos are typically a 2-week lag from the time we record till they're produced or published, I should say, for the public on YouTube. But our subscribers would get instant access to those as soon as they are available. But they're still going to be available to the public. It'll go out just like the normal schedule, like we've done the last 2 years. So that's just a perk for being a subscriber. And thanks for everyone that signed up, and thanks for the support. And if you want to learn more, go check out that announcement video. Got screenshots. We talk about it, et cetera, et cetera.
Let's move over to our Mid-American Conference Week 8 in review. Saturday, MACtion games, Central Michigan at Bowling Green, 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Drew Pine out for this game, and we see Anderson III get the start. Is it Lucien?
Lucien, yep.
Overall, stats-wise, this game was close. Bowling Green would throw 2 interceptions, and the first would come in the second quarter as they were up 3-0. Jordan Kwiatkowski would return the interception 26 yards down to the 1-yard line. Central Michigan quarterback Angel Flores would run it in one of his 3 rushing touchdowns on the day. Bowling Green would go on to have a 3-and-out and a turnover on downs with their next 2 possessions. CMU would cash in for 10 points, 17-6. Central Michigan at the half. Central Michigan would hold Bowling Green to 14 plays, 49 yards, and 0 points in the third quarter. Central Michigan, however, would have 15 plays, 89 yards, and 10 points. After 3, it's 27-6, and that would end up being your final. CMU gets the W. Eastern Michigan at Miami. Miami was 11 for 15 on third downs, 1 for 1 on fourth down. So just very, very efficient in this game. Eastern Michigan dominated via the air, 309-159, while Miami dominated on the ground, 295-60. This allowed Miami to control the ball as they just dominated the time of possession, 42 minutes and 9 seconds compared to 17 minutes and 51 seconds. The game came down to 3 things during the game. Miami scoring in the first when both teams were kind of just feeling each other out. Miami scored a touchdown following a Noah Kim interception in the third, and taking a safety in the fourth. Miami ends up winning, or I guess Eastern Michigan took a safety in the fourth. Miami wins 44-30. Kent State at Toledo. No chip in this one. Kent State would get out to a fast lead in this one. First offensive play was a 75-yard pass. Drew DeShields to Cade Wolford. Kent State would be up 10-7 after 1, despite the 17-10 score at the half in favor of Toledo. Starting at about the 118 moment in the first, Toledo scored 38 unanswered points. In the third, we'd see Kent State be held to 28 yards. They threw an interception. They'd have a blocked punt for a touchdown. In addition to the blocked punt for a touchdown, we saw Toledo score 14 points with their offense. Kent State was 3 for 13 on third downs, had 8 penalties for 57 yards. Toledo wins this one 45-10.
This was a good Tucker Gleason game. I mean, we're gonna get a bad Tucker Gleason game this coming week. The Jekyll and Hyde of Tucker Gleason.
A game that was very interesting. Buffalo at UMass. Buffalo controlled the first, but was only up 3-0 after 1. The second quarter would belong to UMass running back Brandon Hood. He had 4 rushes, 132 yards, and a touchdown. His 90-yard touchdown run put UMass up 14-3, but Buffalo's Victor Snow would score from 23 yards out, just under 3 minutes to go in the half, and it would be 14-10 at the half in favor of UMass. Third quarter, slightly Buffalo's. If I'm doing boxing, it's like, what is it? 8, 10-8, 10-7, something like that. And Buffalo would be up 21-20. It would be 21-20 UMass going into the fourth quarter. And then in the fourth, the team would trade punts. UMass would miss a 54-yard field goal. And then they would intercept Roberson at the UMass 19, but would travel negative 14 yards on the drive thanks to an unsportsmanlike conduct foul on first down. Buffalo's fueled by 2 big passes. Josiah Gathings for 14 and 20 yards. The drive would end at a 16-yard pass from Victor Snow, or to Victor Snow, that ends in a touchdown. Nick McMullen would catch the 2-point try. Buffalo goes up 28-21 with 19 seconds left. Buffalo wins. Buffalo's had way too many games coming into the last drive. The games won a couple, lost a couple. But this Buffalo team is not what I expected. Going into this year, sitting at 4-3 right now. However, 3-0 in the MAC. Yeah,
I mean, it feels like the defense has not lived up to expectations this year for Buffalo, and maybe the offense too, to a certain degree. But to your point, they seem to kind of play to the level of the competition, right? They've never. I don't feel like they've really blown anyone out. If they've won, it's always a close game. Well, I mean,
at Kent State, struggle. At UMass, struggle.
The defense has been a bit of a disappointment compared to, I think, what our expectations were preseason.
All right, Akron at Ball State. Akron would have the lead at the half, 15-14. Third quarter was all Quay Ashley with 102 rushing yards on 5 attempts. In the fourth, Ball State was up 35-28, and following an Akron field goal, they kicked it off to Ball State, and TJ Horton would run the kickoff for a 90-yard touchdown to go up 42-28, and that would be your final. Northern Illinois at Ohio. This one was all Ohio. First quarter, 35 yards for Northern Illinois, 105 for Ohio. It's 14-0 after one. In the second quarter, 48 yards for Northern Illinois compared to 130 yards for Ohio. Ohio would throw an interception, but there's about 11 seconds left to go in the first half. Ohio's up 21-8 at the half. In the second half, Ohio had 5 possessions. They scored a touchdown on 3 of them. They would also return a touchdown, a fumble recovery for a touchdown. So, you give that back, the essentially the 5 possessions. That gives you one in there. It's like 4 touchdowns in 5 possessions. Then they iced the game with their last possession. So it was a moot point all second half, all Bobcats. They go on to win this one, 48-21.
Yeah, this is Northern Illinois we talked about last week. They have no passing game, right? And so all you gotta do is shut down the running game. They've never been a prolific passing team, but this year, the passing game is just completely inept. And so teams just stack the box, shut down the running game, and that's how you beat Northern Illinois. I'm sure Coach Hammond will get things turned around, but it doesn't look like it's going to happen this year.
All right, let's get to our Week 9 previews. All games on Saturday. We've got Bowling Green at Kent State, 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Bowling Green favored by 8.5 points. Over under set at 48.5. Both teams 1 and 2 in the MAC. I think Bowling Green is the better team. We'll see if Pine plays or not.
I think it depends
if Pine plays. If he plays, Bowling Green lay the points. Otherwise, I'm just kind of steering clear of this one.
Yeah, I think. I mean, that line tells me that Drew Pine's playing. Because if Drew Pine's not going to play, you'd think the spread would be a lot closer. I agree with you. Kent State's an improved team compared to previous years. But Bowling Green, I think, has a little bit more talent if Drew Pine plays. But I'm not putting any money there.
All right, Ohio at Eastern Michigan, 12 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Ohio favored by 12.5 points. Over under set at 59.5. I honestly feel like you have to take the over in the points. Eastern Michigan's going to throw a bunch. I think they're going to – in Ohio, I think they're going to throw, and then once you get into the red zone, it's like, all right, we're going to hand it off. We're going to score. I just think we're going to – Eastern Michigan has been a sneaky team of just putting up a lot of points. So I think I would take the over in this one.
Yeah, I think that's the play in this game. Parker Navarro, he hasn't lived up to Parker Navarro standards the last couple of weeks, I feel like.
Yep.
And this feels like a game where he can kind of explode. But also, to your point, I think Eastern Michigan is going to score some points as well. I do expect Ohio to win, but I think I'd be most comfortable taking the over.
All right. Next game, also I guess this one would be a 1 p.m. kickoff Eastern. Akron at Buffalo. Buffalo favored by 9.5 points. Over under set at 47.5. I guess I got to take Akron in the points. Just Buffalo, the way they've been playing lately, I don't feel comfortable. 9.5 points is a lot.
It's a lot.
Even if it is Akron.
A lot for Buffalo. Yeah, 100%. I'm looking now. Have they won any game by that? They beat Eastern Michigan by 1. They beat UMass by 7. They beat Kent State by 3. The only game they've won by that many points was against St. Francis, FCS school. So yeah, I tend to agree with you. I would take Akron in the points because I think Buffalo wins the game, but I don't think they're going to win by 10 points, which is what they'd have to win to beat that spread.
Which is wild. Thinking,
Yeah.
a year later, that's just wild. All right, Toledo at Washington State, 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Washington State favored by 1.5, 47.5 point over under. What I'm looking for in this game is, I think this will be telling for Toledo. Like, honestly, I think Toledo, if Toledo's the team that I think that they can be, they win this. You take Toledo in the points. Washington State hasn't been great, but with Zevi Eckhouse under the helm, they've been a lot better. But if they get whacked by Washington State, like, that wouldn't surprise me. But I'm just kind of curious of where Toledo is in their trajectory. So that's what I'm just kind of, I want to see. I think I get a feel for the rest of the season of Toledo based off this game.
I don't know. To me, it feels like a Tucker Gleason terrible game, like he's known to have every now and then. So I think Toledo actually loses the game, which is just kind of crazy because I feel like from a pure talent perspective, they have one of the most talented rosters in the MAC. But man, Tucker Gleason, I feel like I say this every week. He is just not. He's not good. He's not good. He's good one game and terrible the next. I think this is going to be a terrible game for Tucker.
It's supposed to be 48 degrees at kickoff in Pullman, so maybe they just run the ball a whole bunch.
Hopefully, Chip's healthy. I think for Toledo to win, I think they're going to need a healthy Chip.
All right. Next game, 3:30 p.m. Eastern. We've got Western Michigan at Miami. Miami favored by 2.5 points. Over under set at 40.5. Both teams 4-3, 3-0 in the MAC. So this is a huge game in regards to what that conference looks like. I'm gonna take Western Michigan. I'm gonna take the Broncos on the road. Miami's defense hasn't been as scary as it has been in years past. I like Western Michigan.
I'm gonna be contrarian. I like Miami. I think this is the game where Western Michigan plays a decent team. I think DeQuan Finn's gonna will the Red Hawks to victory. To me, if I'm betting, I'm taking Miami in laying the 2.5 points. Western Michigan, like I said, they're 3-0, but I don't think their hardest games are starting now, and it starts with Miami. I think Miami gets the W.
All right. Next game, also 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. It's UMass at Central Michigan. Central Michigan favored by 16.5. Over under set at 47.5. UMass looking for their first win. However, I do feel like 16.5 is a large number for Central Michigan because they've kind of been up or down. So I think I'm gonna.
They just want to run the ball, right?
Like, I think I'm just gonna take UMass in the points. But don't feel great.
Yeah, I think Central Michigan wins the game. I don't know they win by 16.5. It just feels like a case of both teams going to run the ball some more. So I don't. I mean, if you're a fan of offense, it's probably not a game to watch. But yeah, I tend to agree with you. I think UMass keeps within 16.5, but I do think Central Michigan gets the win. Again, not an exciting game, not a sexy game. It's going to be two teams run the ball, pound the rock.
All right, and then our last game to talk about here: Ball State at Northern Illinois, 3:30 p.m. Eastern kickoff. Northern Illinois favored by 5.5 points. Over under set at 41.5. I'm going to take Ball State in the points here on the road. I think it's the Kelly and Ashley show. And obviously if they're able to stop the run, then Northern Illinois is going to have a little bit easier of a time, but I think they're just Northern Illinois so one-dimensional. Give me Ball State in this one.
I think it's going to be an ugly game. I think it's going to be even uglier than UMass and Central Michigan. Not something that I think I want to watch. Not something that's going to be entertaining. For me, it'd be an avoid. I think from a betting perspective. I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised either team wins. I just think it's going to be a real ugly game. Both teams are kind of are similar in terms of, they don't have great passing games. They want to run the ball a lot. I don't know, man. Just an ugly game for MACtion on Saturday to close out the week.
You know what's been the most depressing right now looking at these? Maybe I'm just hoping to have the MACtion of a couple years back, but it's you got Buffalo, Akron, 47.5. Toledo, Washington State, 47.5. Ball State, Northern Illinois, 41.5. Michigan, Central Michigan, Massachusetts, 47.5. Miami of Ohio, Western Michigan, 40.5. Just all clunkers. 55 is that normal limit, and they're well below that.
Yeah, the only game that looks like it's going to be, from an offensive standpoint, going to be exciting is the Ohio Eastern Michigan game. The rest of them do not look like good games. It's not, MACtion. I feel like MACtion hasn't been MACtion for a while. It's going to be rough here in a couple weeks when we get to those Tuesday and Wednesday games when it's 13-10, 18-14, or those kinds of games. Those are ugly games.
And it's different when it's 47.5, but they're offenses are clicking and you got some good defense. It's just it hasn't been enjoyable football to watch.
Still watching us on YouTube, please hit that like and subscribe button. On X, give us a follow. If you're listening, Amazon Music, Apple Podcasts, or Spotify, please subscribe and leave those 5-star ratings and reviews. Thank you all for the support. Thank each and every one of you for all the support through the website, on YouTube, on our socials. Be sure to join us, come back and join us next week as we discuss what happened in Week 8. And we look forward to Week 10 in G5 college football. And as always, bring you up to the latest news and happenings in the world of G5 college football. Until the next time, we are the G5 High.